Hi, I'm Helen from Woolly Chic. I design knitting and crochet patterns, and I also teach crochet in Hitchin, Hertfordshire, where I live. My mum taught me to knit and crochet when I was a teenager, but it wasn't until my children were little that I picked up a crochet hook again and literally became hooked, and I haven't stopped crocheting and now knitting ever since. I began designing about 8 years ago and started selling my patterns as part of kits, putting together my designs with British wool, some of which comes from my family's sheep farmed in Pembrokeshire, Wales. I love the fact that with a simple fibre like wool, you can create something really beautiful and unique, like garments or handmade accessories, cushions, blankets. Yeah, the possibilities are limitless. I'm also passionate about teaching crochet and passing on the skills that I have learnt. I'm really looking forward to being part of Yarn Lane TV and sharing some tips and tricks with you, and I really hope that you enjoy watching.
Follow Sewing Street and Yarn Lane on Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date with what's coming up on the show, as well as being the first to know about our amazing offers. Get involved with our competitions that are exclusive to social media, and pick up some top tips from us too.
Have you heard about all of the different ways you can shop with Sewing Street and Yarn Lane? You can either shop on our websites, sewingstreet.com and yarnlane.com. You can also order by phone by calling our friendly UK customer service team. For Sewing Street, call 0800 001 4433, and for Yarn Lane, call 0800 4700 600. And don't forget about the Sewing Street app. Here you can shop all of the Sewing Street products as well as watch the live shows from anywhere. You can download the app onto your smartphone or your tablet by simply searching Sewing Street in your app store. And one final thing, no matter how many times you check out on Sewing Street or Yarn Lane in one day, you will only pay one postage and packaging. Happy shopping!
Sewing Street have our very own app. You can now watch and shop from anywhere. Simply download the app from your app store onto your smartphone or tablet, then log in or create an account, and you're done. You can watch us live from anywhere, browse all our recently played items and pre-orders so you never miss out on any show deals, and message the studio to say hello at any time. And remember, you can check out as many times as you want and only pay 1 P&P all day.
Welcome to Yarn Lane. Oh, look, who loves my top? Look at this. Helen hung it up and I went, no, I think that will look quite nice. I don't think I'd wear my dress underneath it. I think it would have looked better just my white top. Beautiful. This is brand new today and only available at Sewing Street, designed by Helen for Woolly Chic. Fantastic, isn't it? Gorgeous, gorgeous. Now, we've made it easier. We had a lot of feedback from you saying, get really confused that I'm watching on this. You have to shop on Yarn Lane. So many people going, I'm a Sewing Street customer, can I use my account? So to make it easier for you, you can just shop on the Sewing Street website. So all you have to do is go on to www.sewingstreet.com. Now, if you've only ever stopped on Yarn Lane before, you don't have to change accounts. It's exactly in the same way as Sewing Street people, Yarn Lane, Sewing Street. One account, which it looks exactly the same as Yarn Lane, just a different colour. Now, you click on Watch Live and you scroll down. Now, look, you can have a little look through. Oh, there's the very nice 720 Pro Sewing Machine. You can have a look through all of those things that we had on Sewing Street. And at the end are all the Yarn Lane products. But it's all on, so if you click on pre-order, because we haven't talked about it yet, today's show deals with things I have talked about, pre-order the things I haven't, it's all there. All of the kits, all of the yarn, all of the accessories, everything is all on there. Because a lot of you got very confused with, is it on Sewing Street? Is it on Yarn Lane? So we've put it all onto Sewing Street just to make it. We haven't got rid of the Yarn Lane website. That is still there. All of the other items that you want to buy, all the other accessories, and all the that we will be selling. But during the show itself, it just makes it simpler because I know we've got confused. So same login details, it just made it simpler. And also it means if you've bought something on Sewing Street, you can buy something on Yarn Lane and it's only 1p&p of £3.95, which is a bargain, really. But the Yarn Lane website has not got anywhere, but we have just decided to put what we're selling on the Sewing Street one just to make it simpler for people. Any questions, message the studio@sewingstreet.com. We will answer them, or we will try. Anyway, look, new top. Nice, isn't it? Gorgeous. It's called the Kielder top, and I will be asking Helen in a moment for a little bit of information. But let's just run through the kits. We've got it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colourways. So in the kit, you get obviously the full instructions, which is very important, and all the yarn to knit it. So this is knitting. We've got knitting tops and crochet tops today. This is the knitting one. Now, in the blue, we only have 8 of these available. It's perfect, what does Helen say here? Ideal for all seasons, on its own or over a shirt or a long sleeve t-shirt, as seen by me. It's beautiful. It's got a lovely lacy pattern knitted down the front and back. That's the front. Look at that. You can see it all the way down the back as well. It's beautiful. Now, if you've ever knitted with Helen's yarn, you know how gorgeous it is. It has really lovely stitch definition. It has this little sheen to it as well. It's not shiny. It just has a sheen to it. So it looks beautiful, particularly when you've worked like a lace pattern or a cable pattern, and it really stands out well. So in the kit, you get full instructions, which is size from a 32-inch bust up to a 42-inch bust, and you get 2 hanks of yarn. Fantastic, isn't it? And this is all Helen's beautiful heartspun yarn. So it's 70% Blue Face Leicester. Now, to talk through the whole point of the yarn, Blue Face Leicester is like our merino, isn't it?
That's right, it is. So it's super soft and yeah, gorgeous, like merino, but merino sheep are very rarely farmed in the UK or in Britain, and so Blue Face Leicester are widely available in Britain on
so
in
it's not
farms.
Imported, it's all naturally British.
Yeah, so it's naturally British and it's spun in Yorkshire. So the sheep are British, the manufacturing of it is British, and I've added the tencel, which comes from wood pulp. So that's also a very environmentally friendly.
And why do you put the tencel in it? Why is it not just pure wool?
Well, so tencel adds a bit of softness because a lot of British breed sheep, the wool isn't perhaps as wearable as merino.
Right, okay.
It's soft, but sometimes by adding something like tencel, which is a bit similar to viscose, it's a bit, but it is from eucalyptus trees, so it's from wood pulp. It adds that sheen, it adds that kind of silky feel. And
does it smell like you? No.
It doesn't smell like sheep.
Kat says, does it smell like eucalyptus?
No, it doesn't smell like eucalyptus or like sheep.
Wool, actually.
Whereas some of my wool smells like sheep. Real kind of sheepy sheep.
Oh no, it smells like wool.
Yeah,
it's lovely.
But it's just really, it's got a beautiful drape to it.
It does. It's really soft. I don't know whether you can see it on the one I'm wearing, but it's beautiful drape. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's just so, it's flattering. It's a flattering top, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Because you've got that little bit of I like a little bit of a sleeve. Yeah. But then the V neck as well.
Yeah,
it's lovely,
and you could almost wear it both ways. You could wear the V at the back or have it at the front.
Around neck. But it's just nice without it being. It's having that little bit of a sleeve. It's lovely.
Yeah.
So only 7 of the denim kits left. It's gorgeous, isn't it? So I think I need to sort of pull it up. That's that side. There we go. I should have stood. That's better. Should have stood in front of it. So the next colour is the one that Helen is wearing. which is raspberry.
Yes.
Raspberry. 9 of these left. So why raspberry?
I just love the
You
colour.
love the colour.
And that is the advantage.
Because obviously it's your yarn, so
Yes,
you chose the colours.
yes,
Why
yeah.
raspberry?
I know. Well, I just love it, and so that's the advantage of having your own wool. You can get it spun and into whichever you need for your designs,
Which is fantastic.
and then the
isn't it?
colours, my favourite colours. So,
But it's
yeah.
lovely because it's not a real pastel pink, isn't it? It's not your
No.
fuchsia pink. It's
No.
like if a sheep were to be pink, it would be this colour.
Yeah. It's a sort of muted
Yes,
colour.
that's what I
a
mean.
muted
If a sheep was
raspberry.
pink.
Yeah, although it's difficult to photograph. It's difficult to get the true look of it
Yes,
because it
yeah.
has that tencel in it. It has almost a mild sort of, little bit of a white fleck.
Well, it almost has like an oatmeal fleck throughout
Yeah,
it, doesn't it? It's
yeah.
lovely. So that's the
Just
one.
catches
Well,
the
there it
light.
is in the picture, but it's the one that Helen's wearing. Only 8 of those left. They're going fast. Question from Elaine. Hi, Rebecca and Helen. Sorry, I had to leave the room and missed the size of the Kielder top. Could you please repeat for me? Of course we can. It's 32 to 42
Yeah,
inch
so
bust.
there's a small, a medium, or a large. So there's three sizes, and because it is a top that is knitted from the bottom up, with no
Right.
shaping whatsoever, you can, and it's knitted on circular needles in the round until you get to the armholes. Then you divide for the front and back, and you're
Yes.
knitting in rows. You can adjust the size slightly according to, so if you needed to make it bigger, you could go up a needle size.
Yeah, that's true.
or
Yes, and you could make it longer or shorter
you can
as well.
definitely make it longer. You could try it on at the time when you're dividing for your for the front and back. You can, obviously you'll have it on 2 separate.
Yeah.
You put some of the stitches on waste yarn or a stitch holder, and therefore you can put it over your head.
Yes,
and
try it
check
on.
that it is the right length and the right width. So you can sort of.
Well, that's quite nice as well, because sometimes you want things a bit shorter,
Yeah.
a bit longer. I
Yeah,
quite like the length on
and
this
it's
one.
a nice top because you can make the bigger size and have it a bit big and baggy,
Yes.
or you can make it a slim fitting top because slipovers, they're called slipovers.
Well, I think
or
with
tank
this
tops.
one, I would, because I'm wearing it over a top and something,
Yeah.
you'd need it a bit bigger,
A bit
because
bigger.
you're wearing without, you'd want it more
I've got
fitted.
it slimmer, or even these, snugger fitting sort of tank tops. You could almost sort of have
Yes.
it like that as
Yeah,
well.
I think it's
so,
gorgeous. Love it.
Yeah.
Let's go for the green one, because that's in the model behind me. This is my model. Now, we've only got 5 of these. There's something very special about this yarn. So it's Helen's yarn again. You get the pattern and you get the 2 hanks in there. So it is the same blue face Leicester and Tencel, but this has been specially dyed for you, hasn't it?
That's right, yeah. So completely limited edition, custom dye by a company called River Knits. And they they live on a canal boat, and their studio is this big kind of industrial building next to the canal, and they produce the most beautiful, stunning colourways, and slightly variegated, not self-striping, just random.
Yeah, I mean, and it does look, when you look at it knitted, it looks like willows in the dappled shades.
And that's
doesn't it?
exactly
Sounds
what
a bit poetic.
no, but that's exactly what I asked for. I said to Becky and Marcus, please can you dye me yarn that is like willow trees?
And it is, isn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah, and they've done a brilliant job, really good. So, and it's
So
lovely
that's the
to see it
yarn.
knitted.
But when
Yeah.
you look at it, it looks very variegated. You've got shades of almost sort of turquoise and green and like yellowy green. It's gorgeous. But you can see that actually the sheen is coming up quite well there. But then when you look at it actually knitted, it looks more just evenly variegated, doesn't it? It's absolutely gorgeous. $49.99. So this one, there's only 5 of these, because this one, there's a lot of you with it in baskets, so please be careful. This was exclusively dyed for Helen, but only as a set batch. That was it, really.
Yes.
So when it's
yeah.
gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
So if you want the green one. So we've done the green. Let's do silver next. Silver is behind me. I'll bring silver over. Did legs fall off? I will do it very carefully. Apparently legs fall off that one. Right, so here's the silver. She's got a scarf on at the moment. Here she is. That's lovely, isn't it? Yeah. So you get your pattern and you get your 2 hanks of yarn in this gorgeous silver. So it is, yeah, silver. In fact, in that photo, it looks darker than it really is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This one, well, this is the real thing. But if you look at the yarn, it is really a lovely silver.
Yeah, silver grey.
Beautiful.
And a nice neutral colour.
Yes,
that will go
and I
with
know
anything.
that's always really popular. A lot of people like the neutral shades, don't they?
Yeah.
Because you can wear that under something quite dark, like you could go black or navy.
Yes, yeah.
Or even mustard.
Yes, that would be nice. Mustard and grey.
We had a lot of mustard and grey fabric this morning. I was like, oh yes, love.
What is it? Grello.
Oh, is it Grello? Grello. We did. Yeah. We had Grello this morning. But that's a lovely shade, isn't it? So that's the grey. Next is the purple.
Yeah.
Which is...
So I haven't got a knit...
Seven of these left. I like this one. It is just purple. I mean, I was going to say, oh, it's aubergine, but it's not. It's purple.
Yeah, and so I've got the knitted sample of just the lace in front of me So that's, how...
It's like a crocus.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful.
Because all of these colours are very natural. The way that the colours that Helen's chosen, they do feel like, you feel that this is a flower. Yeah. It's a natural thing. It's not a bright purple.
No. It's, again, kind of a muted shade because of the tencel, I think.
And it's lovely.
Yeah.
That's the purple. And then the final colour, forest green, which I think looks more like kind of petrol blue.
Yeah, so sort of teal
looking.
It's
got that blue in it, hasn't it?
Yeah, but then the sample that I've knitted, it looks very green. So against different, it's difficult to see on the screen,
but then I guess like forest, pine, they are a bit bluey, aren't they? Spruces.
Yeah, it's another of my favourite colours.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? It's a very like dark petrol-y green.
Yeah.
There's a bit of blue in it anyway.
There is. There's definitely a bit of blue and it's stunning. Yeah.
Lovely. Again, size 32 to 42. In every kit you get the full instructions and you get 2 hanks of the yarn. All you've got to do is choose the colour. Now if you go onto sewingstreet.com, click on watch live and scroll down, you can see all of the colours there. If there are any that you want me to show you again, just message the studio at sewingstreet.com. I can always show you them again, or if you've got any questions. But if you want just the yarn, if you click on pre-order, there is all the yarn, plus other colours as well, other ones that we don't have. All those are all on there as well. They are all 100-gram hanks. So if you think, I love that, but I want just the yarn, that's all on there. So on sewingstreet.com, or you think, oh, I want to make 2 of them, then you could buy the kit, so with the pattern and the yarn, and then buy some extra yarn as well, because they are really lovely. So that's knitting. We've got 1 crochet kit, which again, brand new. I'll have to just move my silver friend to the side one moment. I'm really worried the legs are going to fall off. Kat says the legs are going to fall off. I'm going to have this legless person. So this is the crochet top. Isn't this fab? Oh, let me move that yarn out of the way. Oh, there you go. There we go. So it's lovely. It's beautiful. It's in all shades. I mean, you can see how lovely it looks with Helen's shades of the colours that she uses. In there, it's under a long sleeve top, so it doesn't have to be a vest top. It's like a tank top, so you can wear it on top of things. Nice for the summer, but also, you know, nice for any season because you can wear it under a long sleeve top or a short sleeve top. So this is it. I mean, it looks different with the under a white because then that shows through. Very different if you wore it under a different colour. So at the top, you've got the natural coloured yarn. And then you've got raspberry print, purple, the blue. What's this colour?
Fern green.
Fern green, which is the sort of really yellowy green.
Yeah.
And then your forest green is like the petrol. But obviously you can choose what order you put those in. So in the kit, you get in a lovely little bag. Lots of Helen's kits come in these gorgeous bags. Love them. All the kits from Helen are sent directly from her. But if you've ordered anything else from Sewing Street today, don't worry, you'll still only pay the $3.95, one lot of $3.95 postage, but the kits come directly from Helen. And in the kit, so you get a hank of the heart spun in the natural. Is that natural, like natural sheep running around the field natural?
Undyed, yeah, that
Very
is the
clean
colour.
sheep.
Yes, yeah. well, I don't think they were clean when they were sheared, but by the time they've gone through the whole process, then it's that
They
colour.
actually,
Yeah.
but that is what
yeah.
a sheep would
Definitely
look like
washed.
if it had a wash.
yes.
It's lovely, isn't it? Oh, I love the smell of pure wool. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? It's lovely. So that's the natural colour. And then you get the little balls of all the other colours. So you've got the blue and the purple and the raspberry and the pink and the green. They're just coming out. So, but you can order, so before you make it, you've got to decide. You can do it the same colour as the picture. Or you can put it in whatever order you fancy. Up to you. Play with your, but you need to decide. Because once you've started, you've had it. Well, you're not, well, you could undo it. So what size does this one come in then? 32 to 40? To 40?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's again small, medium and large, and with instructions on how to increase it. So
Is it the same on the back and the front?
it is slightly bigger, slightly sort of
Higher?
on the back.
Okay.
To the front. And again, you can adjust
You
it.
could change.
I mean,
Oh yes, you can see from their photo. I couldn't see
Yeah.
from the model, but you can see from the photo.
That's the lovely thing about crochet, is that you can actually adapt it and change it as you're crocheting, and it requires kind of a bit more creativity and flexibility.
I think that's why I'm more of a crochet fan. Because
Yeah.
it's easier to undo,
Yes,
and then you can
much,
sort of
yeah,
adapt
it's much
it.
more forgiving if
Yeah.
you make mistakes, definitely.
but harder to count.
Well, yes,
For
there's
me.
an awful lot of counting in
Awful,
crochet.
yes.
Yeah.
So I can never really decide. Easier to unpick, but harder to count.
Yeah.
But I love these are very trendy at the moment. This kind of
Very-
open look
Yes, yeah.
tank top.
Yes, yeah, very, very
That's
on trend.
lovely. Now we only have it in one colourway because obviously it's multi, but you can choose which order you put them in. So everything you need, it all comes in the little thing, the Harmony of Leaves vest top crochet kit.
And also, if you wanted to leave out one colour, say you didn't like one of
Okay.
the stripes, you
Yes.
could leave out one colour and just do 5 stripes, and there's enough of the natural yarn to have a bigger bit at
Oh,
the
and
top.
then so you could
So-
have the natural down to here.
So again, you can make it completely unique to you by having the
nice.
stripes in a different order, to have the stripes starting lower down, fewer stripes,
Yes.
different colours. Yeah,
It's
so-
lovely. I really like it. Well, it's nice that you can wear it under a short, you could just put
Yeah.
a vest top underneath it.
Yes.
Or a long sleeve t-shirt or short sleeves, lovely.
Yeah.
And everything you need comes in the kit.
Oh.
Lovely. So tell me about, should we start with knitting?
Yes, let's start with the knitting. So
Why is it called the Kielder top? That's what I want to know.
Well, Kielder was, so I went on holiday last year to Northumberland to the Kielder forest, and just was blown away by how beautiful the whole area was. I'd never been to Northumberland before, and I saw these beautiful trees with this kind of arrow shape in all around us, and I just started. That's where the design sort of started from.
Oh, okay.
So it's named after the Kielder forest.
Right.
So
Now, if everyone checks out of the denim one that I'm wearing, we've only got one left. There's loads of you within baskets. So if you want it, you need to check out. Otherwise, somebody will come in, take it out of your basket, and they'll check out, because we have only got one left if everybody checks out. Just saying. And you're not having mine.
well,
Because I've got to give it back to Helen.
and I just wanted a design that was like ready for the spring, ready for the summer.
I love the lace design. It's not too much.
No, it's not
kind of achievable.
Exactly. It's very achievable, and people are a bit nervous about lace and a bit nervous about how...
Well, it's because you kind of think of lace making, which is scary pants, isn't it?
It
Real
is.
lace
well, and
making.
also when you're looking at the charts and the terminology, it's not your normal knit and purl
No.
stitches. It's a bit more sort of what people would perceive as being complicated, but
So it's all done.
It really isn't.
It's all done in one. There's no seams.
No seams. The only seams that you have are on the shoulders.
Right. So you have a big. What needle do we need?
So you need 3mm needles on a circular cord of 80 centimetres or a metre,
Okay.
just depending on the size that you're making. So if obviously you're making the large size, you're going to need a larger cable.
Right. Okay.
And if you like to knit circular with, say, the magic loop method,
Yes.
then obviously you can have a really
so
long
about an
length.
80 centimetre.
Yeah,
would be
but
all right
I would
then.
say an 80 centimetre would be absolutely
Okay.
perfect. And you start off at the bottom with the rib, so it's just a 1 by 1 rib on a 2.5
Yeah.
millimetre needle.
Okay.
So you start with the small needles, you knit the rib, and Trish, who knitted this one actually, she was one of my test knitters, she did the bottom rib straight. So she actually knitted it on straight needles,
Oh, okay.
and then joined with the 3 millimetre needles in the round,
Right.
and just sewed up, because it's only a few rows.
Why did she do that then?
She just found it easier and less likely to twist
Oh,
that original
twist.
yeah, so it just made it
I'm with her on
easier
that.
and
Because I did
straightforward.
that recently and didn't double check it and got quite a long way up, and it never, once it's twisted.
No, that's it. But then you can say,
Raspberry's the most popular at the moment.
oh wow, well it is
Helen's winning.
the Mobius, then it's a Mobius loop
Yeah,
if
I
it's twisted, and you can just say, well, that's just a design feature and I meant to do it.
And I thought it will, and it doesn't. It doesn't untwist. Why did
No.
I think it was going to untwist?
Well, yeah, no, that is really annoying. And the same happens with crochet as well. If you're crocheting in the round, it's quite easy to twist the first round, which then it does make sense then to do it flat and then just
Yes.
sew up a
long as you
few
check it.
rows, yeah, and then join it, and then it's more likely. Well, it's easier because you've got more to hold on to, and you've got more to see whether it's been twisted. So I'm just purling back. I've just realised that I'm just at the wrong bit of the pattern to show you the yarn overs, because
That's fine, because we were chatting.
yeah, and so on the pattern, if I just bring that down,
So
these-
this is the fern green.
this
just
is
so you know.
this is fern green.
Fern green, which is it makes me think of lichen.
Yes, moss, and kind of a mossy green, or a
But we've
lime
got
green.
we
But
have the fern green as a yarn.
yes, so the yarn is is separate. So, but it's just, I started to knit the sample in the forest green to come today, and realised that a forest green was exactly the same colour as my knitting needles, and so it wouldn't have shown up.
But also,
so,
it doesn't show up as well, does it? The dark colours. Never mind.
no. So
We like to see your fern green.
yeah, so the fern green is beautiful, and it is making me think I'd like to knit one in this colour.
It is a really nice colour. It is.
So
Like
I have
the
to
colour
come
of
back
lichen.
with the knitted version,
Yes,
won't
could you
I?
please?
I'll come back
in
and
my size.
yeah. Oh, so with
The fern green yarn is the code that's on the right hand side of the screen. So
with this pattern, you've got these holes. You've got these little eyelet holes,
yeah,
which form the pattern, and they're created by yarn overs. And yarn overs, they are just as simple as sometimes it's written as yarn forward, but then when I was getting it test knitted, I realised that there are actually different ways of making yarn overs according to the stitch that is before and the stitch that is after.
is there? I thought it was just yarn over.
Yes, yeah. So I wanted to make sure that people could see the difference between the different
Yeah, no, that's really
stitches.
because I thought there was only one way.
So I'm going to just knit up to, and stitch markers, that's the other thing that is just, you will definitely need for this pattern, because you put your stitch markers just before the lace section, and the lace section is 26 stitches, so you can then slip my stitch marker. Then the first stitch is a purl stitch. Then for this row, I need to knit 3 stitches, so just knitting 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to do a decrease, which is a slip knit past the slip stitch over. So I'm going to slip that stitch, knit the next stitch, pass that stitch over. So my yarn is at the back.
So rather than knitting 2 together,
No, so
you're doing a
so and that's because it
KSPO.
is it's a right leaning. I think.
that's to make it, because I often
So
wondered that,
it
but it's
slants
to make it go
in the other way,
isn't it?
to knit 2 together. So now I'm going to do my yarn over, or it's actually yarn to the front, but my next stitch is a purl stitch. So if I were to just purl this stitch now, I wouldn't have a yarn over.
Oh, of course.
I
Yeah,
would
you
lose.
just have
I would lose that yarn over because
Right.
because the yarn is in the position to make that purl stitch. So then I
Okay.
have to wrap the yarn round the needle. So that's abbreviated in the pattern with a YFRN. So it's
Love
yarn
that.
forward round the
YFRN.
needle. Yeah?
Okay, so it's
So-
a purl, it's a YFRN.
Yeah. So then I can purl my stitch.
And if it's a knit, it's a YO.
Yes, that's it. So if the next stitch is a knit, it's
It's a
yarno or yarn forward. So so now I've got my yarn in front. So if I were to do a purl stitch, I would just be purling. But the next 2 stitches are a knit 2 together. So I keep the yarn in the front and then knit those 2 together, and that then creates that yarn over before the knit 2 together. So that stitch there
So you're kind
is
of
my
making
yarn
one
over.
and losing one, so you end up with the same number.
Exactly, because you're not adding any shape to this,
Just
to the lace
putting
panel.
a little pattern
no,
in.
No, that's it. So then I knit the next 3 stitches, purl the next 2 stitches, purl 2, and then again I'm repeating what I've done before. So knit in 3 stitches, and then SKP, which is slip, knit,
knit one pass over,
and then pass one over. And then again, I'm coming to the next, the yarn forward, round the needle, purl the next stitch. So that creates your extra stitch after your decrease, and then you've purled it. And then keeping the yarn in the front, because you're then making another yarn over, knitting 2 together and round, and then knit the next 3 stitches. So that's probably the trickiest row of all of the lace section, because you have to sort of think, right, I'm before a purl stitch, so I need to do that extra.
But I
wrapping
like
around the
that because
needle.
I get bored, and I would be, if I had to do the whole thing in just now knit stocking stitch for 14 inches. Oh,
Yes.
but it's having that little bit nice. Hi Helen and Rebecca, is the wool 4-ply or DK? Is there enough wool to make it longer? I have ordered that lovely variegated green from Laurie in Suffolk. Well, Laurie, yes, it's 4-ply.
It's 4-ply, and yes, there is enough yarn to make the large size and to make the large size longer.
Right, there you go.
So if you're making the small, if you're making the small size, then you could make it much
be a
longer.
dress.
It could be a dress, yeah, or you'll have wool left over for another project.
Yes.
So yeah, there's.
So I guess because mine feels quite long, mine comes down to
Yes,
my.
yeah.
If I stand back, you can see mine. There's my waist. So I'd say mine comes down to about top of my hips.
Yeah, and I think that one weighed about 175 grams.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
so you've got 25 grams more, and the lovely thing about 4-ply is it goes a long way. So in terms of the meterage of the
That's
the wool,
true.
it's 420 meters.
So what
per
do you get
100
if it was
grams.
DK? What would you get for 100 grams then?
You would probably get about 220.
Oh, wow.
So it's probably
So you get more for your money.
You get more for your money. It goes further. It obviously takes longer to knit, and that's why I think a lot of people prefer knitting with Chunky and Aran, because it's quick to knit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the same look and feel.
No,
and
it is fine.
drapiness. And
But it's not, I mean, I love knitting with 4-ply. I have to say, I have given up on lace weight. I know there's a lot of people who knit with lace weight.
Yeah.
I've just given up. And needs to be, I think I need more time and patience for that. But actually, knitting with 4-ply is fine.
no,
It doesn't fit, but lace
fine.
weight's just like,
yeah, it's
I need time, patience, and stronger glasses, I think.
yeah.
But the full ply is fine. But you
No.
do get a nice drape with it,
You
don't
do,
you?
and of course, if you want to wear it in the summer or
Yeah.
in the spring, then it's nice and lightweight and
Yes, it
cool.
is.
And that's the other thing about wool and tencel as well, is that it's a really versatile fabric, because you can wear it in the summer and keeps you cool, or you can wear it in the winter and it
Laurie says,
and it
thank
keeps
you,
you
I could
warm.
even make matching socks. You could.
Yes, matching
Yes.
socks.
Well, also the
Yeah.
yarn is available on the website, so if you want another hank of it, you could. Because I've got a top like this I bought years ago. It's actually a crochet one, but a machine made. I bought it from Fat Face. I wear it all the time. It's falling apart now because I wear it in the summer with t-shirts. And it's exactly the same. It has these little sleeves, and it's just.
And in this country, we need layers, don't we?
Yeah.
You just sort of layer
But
up.
also, sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling that day, sometimes I need a top to be a little bit longer, you know,
Yes.
to cover everything else.
Yeah.
And it sort of does all of that for me.
Yeah, no, it's
And it's falling apart. And it was about 50 odd pounds.
you have to try and recreate it if it's crochet, because I know you're a good crocheter.
Yeah, I know, but it's factory made, it's not handmade. So
Yeah.
I think I might just knit one instead, because I love this one. Please don't buy all the denim blue ones.
Can I just show the back of this sample? Is that now, because I'm working in rows and not rounds, I'm now working a purl row, and so you're basically purling the knit stitches and knitting the purl stitches, and that then creates the lace on the front and the back. And when you're getting to, I'm going to purl my next stitch.
And I guess because you're working in the round though.
Well, you're working for the majority in the round, so it's only when you get to the front and the back and dividing for the actually making the V that you're working in rows. So when you are purling, you need to not miss out this yarn over here, because it doesn't have a little bump anywhere. It's just the yarn has just come over the needle, so that you just purl it in exactly the same way, or knit it if you're knitting in the round.
So I suppose as long as you count the stitches between your markers.
Yes, that's it. And you're really counting sets of 5. So. So I'm coming to this next one, and it feels really big and baggy at this point, but as soon as you purl it, it tidies up that little hole, and then you can move on to the next one, and it neatens it up, and then you've just got you've got these little eyelet holes on the other side. So so lace knitting needn't be really kind of daunting, because it is just making the knit two together and the yarn overs. Yeah,
so it's not like, I think it's that word lace. You
No,
see, it's
yes,
feels more intimidating than the word cable, and it's actually easier.
Yes.
So denim and raspberry are now neck and neck, equal numbers. We have very limited. That's because we're wearing them, you see.
Yes, I know, we're modelling them.
The modelling of the denim and then raspberry. Please do check out, they are very, very limited. There's more of you with the baskets than we have. So you do need to check out. They are size 32 to 42. If you've got any questions, let us know. If you get the 2 hanks of yarn and you get the pattern in the kit. If you want any extra yarn, then that's available on the website as well. So it's just knit and purl, isn't it?
Yes.
Really.
Yeah, it's just variations of it, and it's a really nice pattern for somebody who wants to extend their knitting skills and try something new, because there is and what I've done in my pattern is I've included links to useful YouTube videos for things like the 3 needle bind off on the shoulder, for example. So anybody that has never done a 3 needle bind off can then have a look at the link and be directed to that website and help them. So the other thing is the bind off on the neckline, where you're slipping stitches and then knitting, and that produces, rather than a stepped back to the neckline, you get a nice sweeping curve. So it's those sorts of things that perhaps people haven't done before, that then they might like to try those. But yes, so there's lots of tips and yeah, the bias bind off for the neckline is a nice way of making
And you've
that
put a
sweeping
chart
curve.
in,
And yes,
and you've put instructions
yes,
in.
so there are
Nice.
charts. There's a chart for when you are knitting in the round, and then there's a chart for the section when you're knitting in the flat. So anybody that loves charts and is a kind of visual learner, then that might help.
Yes, but there is both.
Yes, there's both.
So after you've done it, do we need to block this?
Yes. So then,
Because we have got the
really,
blockers.
it really makes such a massive difference when you are, so when you're blocking the your finished garment. I would say definitely block it. And anybody that has never, maybe tried blocking,
So
the
we've
way
got the blocking mats.
Yes.
That you could join together.
Yes, and they are fantastic. And you've also got. You've got these amazing. I've got them here actually as well. These
the
brilliant
rainbow blockers. I've
rainbow
got them as well. I
block,
love
and
these.
they are fantastic because you can. So you build your
So we
your
built my
mat.
thingy
Yeah,
to the size I need, and it's just going to be big enough.
yeah.
So when you finished it, then
When you finished it,
wet
and
it.
yes. Now what I would say is with this wool, it is hand wash only. So do not. Put it in the washing machine, and even on a wool wash, I'd be
you
really
have spent
nervous.
a lot of time knitting this. Do not put it in the
so
washing
I would
machine.
say, but all it needs is
That'll do, probably a
cool
needful.
water, cool tepid water, and then you just plunge it into the water. Then you squeeze it out with, get it as dry as you can. Now I've put mine in on a spin setting in the washing machine where I spin out the water, but unless you're confident that your washing machine isn't going to
I think
heat
I'd
it
wrap mine
up.
in a towel.
Yeah, you can just wrap it in a towel, and then you lay it flat on your blocking boards, and then you can use these brilliant.
Yeah, 'cause mine is sitting, so but you just pin them.
You
into
just
here.
pin them, and I would pin them, and all the blocking does is it relaxes the stitches, it brings out the lace pattern, so it really does pop. So where you've got, like on my sample, it's looking a bit sort of, bumpy.
Yeah, whereas
and,
this
and
is beautifully smooth.
It just smooths it all out, and it
Do
looks
you
incredible.
have to block it every time you wash it then?
Well, probably not. You could. After you've knitted it and you blocked it absolutely
and you've
smoothly.
worn it and you've
It
spilt
depends.
something down it.
It depends how wet it is, I suppose, and how you want to dry it. But really, you could just dry it on a towel flat.
Okay.
And then when it is a bit drier, put it on a hanger and.
So it's
and
more
dry
that
it.
initial blocking.
Yeah, don't put it on a radiator while it's wet because that might felt it as well. So, but
So it's the
dry
initial
flat.
blocking
It's the
that's
initial
key.
blocking which kind of eases all the stitches and kind of makes it.
So we've got the blocking mats that are on the right hand side there. £23.99. I've got this one right now. Worked it out now. £23.99 for the blocking mats, and that's just 4 of them there. But you obviously get more of that.
Yeah.
I have them, they're brilliant. And then the knit and the rainbow blockers, which Helen's got there, and they've got big ones and small ones, so they're really good. They fit into here so you can block it beautifully.
Yeah.
Right, should we move on to
I was
crochet?
just going to say the other thing that you've got is these blocking wires.
The blocking wires,
which,
yes.
Which are absolutely fantastic for shawls. For
Yes, these are
shawls and
brilliant, aren't they?
blankets. Yeah, I've got a set of those at home, and they're really you just kind of weave them into the edge of a shawl or a blanket, and then do exactly the same. Wet it, lay it flat, put the wires in, pin them into place, and then just leave it to dry.
And they're knit pro, so they're the same make as the mats and the things. It all works together. If you're doing shawls or something or anything with a curve, these are perfect.
Fantastic. Yeah, really, really good, and kind of takes all the pain out of individually sort of pinning a shawl into a sort of flat and even line. So the wires are brilliant.
Are fantastic.
Yeah, the wires are great.
Now, just to let you know, if you've got the denim, the raspberry or the purple, you need to be very careful. There was more people who've got it in baskets than we've actually got. So if you don't check out now, somebody will come and steal it. And I know it's what it's like. You think, oh, I don't know which colour she'll have, which colour, but they are very, very limited, and more of you have them in baskets. So you do need to check out. But we also have, if you want the individual yarn by the 100 grams, that is also on the website as well. Right, should we do crochet now?
Yes.
The
so
lovely crochet top, because we're going to run out of time.
Yeah, I know, time does fly, doesn't it? Well, so
does the Harmony of Leaves pattern, is that the same as the Harmony of Leaves
yes,
shawl?
so if anybody has done the Harmony of Leaves scarf pattern, because I've been here and
Which
demonstrated
we have got
that.
those as
no,
well.
that one is the in the willow shade.
Oh, that's the willow one.
That's the in the willow shade, and I've got this one as well. But then, but I've been on previously and shown how to do the Harmony of Leaves scarf. This is then turning exactly the same stitches and central motif into a top. So you've got, so if you've done the scarf already, then obviously you'll know the pattern off by heart and be easy
so
just
the
to
crochet
adapt
hook's not in the kit, so they will need a 3.5 mil and a 3 mil crochet hook.
What I would say is it's really important with both the Kielder top and the Harmony of Leaves vest top to do a swatch, to do a gauge.
Yes.
And there is information in the pattern in what the size should be, because obviously everybody's tension is different. Some people are very loose crocheters and knitters, and some people are very tight and just crochet and knit in a very different way. It's unique to you. So you may not want to crochet this top in a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, because that would make it a lot bigger. And I just demonstrate here, I've done 2 samples, one with a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, and that's the raspberry one, and one with a 3 millimeter crochet hook, that's the denim one, and you can see probably at least a centimetre. So if you're repeating
on that small bit,
it gets bigger and bigger. So it is making sure that your tension matches what's in the pattern.
So do if you haven't got, I mean, any of the crochet hooks are on the Yarn Lane website. If you haven't got the right size, all the same login details, and we do have on there sets of crochet hooks in a variety of sizes, which I would always recommend, because as Helen says, you don't know what crochet hook you'll need. Roughly, you'll need a 3 and a 3.5, but you might need a 3.25 or 3.75.
And what the pattern says is start with a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, because your foundation chain is, you want that to be loose. So you can actually go into your stitches and then go down to a 3 millimeter crochet hook. However, if you are finding that your stitches are really tight with a 3.5 millimeter hook, you might want to go up a hook size. So it's sort of playing with it. And for me, I'm a very loose crocheter, so I probably would want to go down to a 2.5 millimeter crochet
so
hook.
it is worth having, and I think the set that the Knit Pro set we do goes from like 2.5 to 6, which pretty much covers you, doesn't
and that
it?
would cover all different yarn types, and that would be a perfect.
Super chunkies and your lace weight.
Yeah, then you'd want like 12 millimeter crochet hooks and like a broom handle and
exactly.
So,
but that pretty much covers it.
Yeah. So again, you would sort of crochet a little sample. And that also sort of consolidates the stitch pattern in your head as well. So you're practicing on a smaller scale. You can then see how the leaf pattern's sort of popping out, and it just gives you a chance to practice and check that the size is going to be right.
Okay, so once you've sorted that one out.
Yeah, so I'll just, the only, with the Harmony of Leaves, with the Harmony of Leaves pattern, if you can make a granny square, you can make this top.
Wow.
It's just using...
Well, that's good to know. So you've done your granny square, you've got it sorted, you are now on clothing.
Yeah, that's it. You can do a treble crochet stitch, and all my patterns are written in UK terminology.
Jolly good.
So it's a UK treble crochet stitch, not an American double crochet stitch.
Thank goodness.
So so if you can do a treble crochet stitch, then it's easy. So it is just literally yarn around the hook and into either chain spaces or the stitches, and I'll just crochet up to a point where I'll show you how to decrease, because that's when I'm teaching crochet, it's easy to demonstrate how to increase because you're just putting 2 stitches into one. When you are decreasing, you need to decrease 2 stitches to make it into one.
Right.
So that's where people get a bit confused, and that's where we're going to go yarn around the hook into the stitch, And when you put your hook into a stitch, unless it specifies the front loop or the back loop, you actually want to put your hook under both parts of the stitch. So the V is lying on top of your hook.
We're
You can creep in a bit more so you can see that there's two parts of that stitch on the hook. So your hook goes straight in underneath that V, and then you pull a loop of yarn through. You've got 3 loops on your hook. You go yarn around the hook and you pull through 2 of those loops. Then you start with going into your next stitch. So yarn around the hook and you go into the next stitch. You pull a loop through and you've got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn around the hook, pull through 2, and then yarn around the hook and pull through those 2. So that is decreasing those 2 stitches and making one stitch.
And Margaret sent us a message. Hi Rebecca and Helen, I'm making my sample for tension at the moment using the heart spun yarn left over in my willow shawl.
Oh, very good.
That's very
perfect.
Good. Oh, well, you'll be all ready when you buy your kit then.
Yeah, brilliant. and so if you were to, so this row has got a treble 2 together, and then the next row has got a treble 3 together. So if I were trebling 3 together, I would then just simply.
So and that gives you your holes
and that's basically what creates the shape. So it brings the it brings the shape of the leaf to a point by trebling those 3 together, and then your chains are making the negative spaces and they're making the gaps.
So you end up with the same number of stitches.
So with lace crochet, so it is very much like filet crochet, where you're just following a chart maybe, and you're making the blocks with the treble crochet stitches, or in this case the shapes of the leaves with the treble crochet stitches, and then the holes are made with chains, and that's how you get the sort of lacy effect.
So if we had to do a treble 3 together.
So treble 3 together. Have I got time just to show a treble 3 together?
We'll do that.
So it's yarn around the hook and into the stitch, pull a loop through, yarn around the hook, pull through 2, then move on to the next stitch, yarn around the hook, go into the next stitch, and then pull through 2, and then moving on to the next stitch, yarn around the hook and into the 3rd stitch, yarn around the hook and pull through 2, and then I've got 4 loops on my hook, yarn around the hook and pull through all 4 loops, and that then just brings 3 stitches together into one. And
I think that's probably easier with 4-ply.
It might be,
because it's finer. You know, when you work with a sort of an Aran and you're doing decreasing, it's quite hard to get it all through all those loops.
Yes, and then you really do have to have a very big hook and strong wrists to be able to sort of pull it all the way through.
But with this, it feels like, I think because it's finer, it's easier to get
and
through.
And it's very, very silky, silky yarn. So Margaret was just saying that she has she's made this shawl here, which I think is also available. Well. So she's made this shawl, which is the In the Willow shade shawl,
using the beautiful In the Willow yarn.
Yes, and that actually starts with a foundation chain. A chainless foundation, which I demonstrated on one of a previous Yarn Lane show, and you could start the Harmony of Leaves top with the same method. So thanks Margaret for pointing that out
and
to me.
I mean, it looks beautiful crocheted up, doesn't it? It's interesting to see it knitted and crocheted.
Yeah, so this is the sort of asymmetric
this is
shape.
The knitted version.
Yeah, and this is the crocheted version. Yeah, so.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? And you designed that so it looked like a willow.
Yes, exactly. And this also has a kind of leaf pattern to it. So exactly the same treble crochet stitches and with chains in between. So and the shawl behind me is made with 2 skeins. So this one is just 100 grams and it makes a really big.
Right.
And then the one behind me has got 2. So
and
you
that's
can
the one
actually.
That's on the screen at the moment, $24.99. So you get the 2 hanks of yarn.
So no, you get 1 hank, but you can buy another one.
Oh, if you want to make it extra
and make
big.
it extra big, yeah. So the pattern starts at the longest point and then decrease down to the point. So you can actually add more width to it.
Okay.
And
so that's that kit. So that's that fern green.
Yeah. So that's the sort of lime green colour.
But remember, shop on Sewing Street website. Sorry, I know at some point we needed to change it to make things simpler, but today is that day. So please, you need to go on to www.sewingstreet.com, click on Watch Live, and then scroll down from there, and there it all is. It's all there. It's all there. There's the kit. Remember, we are very, very low in stock of the denim, the raspberry, and the purple. At the moment, it's still on pre-order, but we'll move it all over onto the, but it's easy enough to find. If you want extra yarn, if you love the patterns, you want a little bit extra, it's all on there. Remember, you do need to wind your yarn. You must not knit from a hank.
No.
You'll be in all sorts of trouble.
Yes, yeah.
Well, there'll be a lot of swearing.
A lot of swearing. You get into a real tangled mess. So, so yes, all of my yarn comes as skeins, unless you buy the little 25-gram balls, and then I have wound them on something very similar to.
So you can wind them by hand if you want, but you must wind them before you knit because they get all tangled, and the only way around it is to cut it, and you waste loads of yarn. I speak from experience.
Yes, yeah, we've all done it. We've all been impatient and tried to kind of get on knitting it, and no.
You think I won't get that tangled? Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you need a wool winder. I have one of these and I absolutely love it, and I find great joy and pleasure in winding my yarn.
Yeah, no, it's really.
We also have the beach ones as well. They're on the Yarn Lane website. They are more expensive and lovely, but this is the Knit Pro one. Loads and loads and loads of these we have sold because they are simply fantastic. All you do is clamp it to the table. You attach your yarn, your hank to one end, and you just wind the handle. I think you have to take part of it. You have to reassemble it. You put this bit goes in here, like that. So it all stores. I keep mine stored in its box because you can just put. Oh, I can't get in. You just put that bit on. Anyway, you put the yarn goes through there, and you just wind this round, and it winds it into a ball that looks like this. Only bigger.
Yeah, a little cake.
And it looks absolutely beautiful. It looks like you've just been to a shop. Oh, it's just the best thing ever to do. So you just to recap, if you want the patterns for the knitted top or the crochet top, they are not available on their own. You have to buy them in the kit. Everything will come to you directly from Helen. But obviously, you know, the postage will come through us. So if you've bought anything else, you will still only pay the one postage. Thank you so much for joining us today, Helen.
You're welcome.
It's been lovely. When are you back?
I think I'm back on the 21st of March.
Fab.
Doing Jubilee bunting.
Oh, very exciting.
Yeah.
21st. I think I might be on that day as well. Yarn Lane will be back a week today on the 14th of March with Sam Sabido. Be lovely to see her again. Oh, the practically perfect poncho. There's a bit of alliteration. Going back to our earlier vocabulary conversation. Thank you so much for joining me on Yarn Lane today. It's always a pleasure to do Yarn Lane. It's been lovely to be with you today. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock with Sewing Street. Have a lovely afternoon of knitting, crochet and sewing, and I will see you tomorrow morning.